Hey guys, just a quick video I needed to make based on this new show, The Acolyte. I find an opportunity here to discuss something important, something philosophical related to this story, so that hopefully you guys will be better equipped to deal with these things and understand what is actually going on. So before I get into it, I just want to talk a little bit about queer theory. We are in Dinosaur Month, and I think that it would be helpful for us to understand a little bit about what this is. So you might be familiar with the feminist name Judith Butler. If not, I would suggest looking her up, and others such as Paolo Fieri, John Money. This is about queering the child, using our media, education, and other tools to groom children. We have seen this in schools with Drag Queen Story Hour and these kind of very inappropriate books that have been released. There is a concerted push to sexualize children. So what is queering the child? Because this is a subject. So queering the child is a concept within queer theory and childhood studies that, and this is according to the people who write about it, challenges traditional normative understandings of childhood and explores the ways in which heteronormative expectations shape the experiences and identities of children. That should creep you out because it is creepy. The concept seeks to disrupt the idea that children are inherently innocent, asexual, and destined to follow conventional gender roles and heterosexual life paths. This is, in fact, spawned from ideologies like feminism. Now, feminists today that are upset that there are biological men in women's bathrooms or biological men playing sports with women, they are the ones that created this. They made this happen. This is a byproduct of their ideology, and they don't like it, but it's true. Okay, so this has to be understood and taken seriously. All right, these people created this condition, and now some of them, not all of them, are lamenting it. All right, so what are the key points of this concept? First of all, it's about challenging normativity. So if you haven't noticed, everything the woke hates is basically just the normal, and what it starts with them saying that it isn't normal. The concept critiques the normative frameworks that define what is considered normal or natural for children regarding gender and sexuality. It questions the assumptions that children should or will grow up to be heterosexual and adhere to traditional gender roles. Feminists have been attacking gender roles since feminism existed. In fact, before feminism existed. So again, the fact that this sort of queering the child, queer theory stuff says a lot of the same things, uses a lot of the same language that feminists use, is more proof that it is spawned from feminism. Queering the child also involves making space for the recognition of and visibility of queer identities and experiences in childhood. This includes acknowledging that children can have diverse gender identities and sexual orientations, and that these identities can be fluid and non-conforming. This is actually not a state of being. This is an ideology. This is about trying to condition children or groom them into thinking that not only should they not necessarily encouraged or directed by their gender roles, but that they should actively act against them. Interrogating innocence. The idea of childhood innocence is critically examined. Now, this is really dark, but this is what they're doing, okay? The notion that children are pure and devoid of sexual knowledge or desire is seen as a social construct that deserves and serves to perpetuate heteronormative structures. This perspective allows for a more nuanced understanding of children's agency and sexuality. So what are the educational and cultural implications? The concept has implications for education, parenting, and media. It advocates for more inclusive and diverse representations of gender and sexuality in curricula, children's literature, and media, and supports practices that affirm and respect children's diverse identities. It deconstructs the gender binary and binary thinking. Queering the child involves breaking down binary thinking about gender and sexuality, such as male or female, straight or gay, and recognizes the complexity and spectrum of these identities. It challenges the rigid categorizations that often limit children's self-expression and understanding of themselves. Have you considered or thought about how many kids are coming out trans and how many single moms are supporting this? How many families have been bamboozled, indoctrinated, propagandized into queering their own children because their children at 4, a boy at 4, decided to play with a Barbie doll? So how is this done? And this is where I'm getting to today's topic, because people are talking about what's happening, what's the topic du jour in our media, and I'm going to relate it to this. This is why we have to understand this, okay? Implementing curricula. So this is all about this is what the queer theorists are doing, okay? They're trying to take education and use it as a means to condition children and prepare them for a queer life, for a more liberated, is how they would put it, existence. So they implement curricula that include discussions of LGBTQ plus topics and histories, providing support for queer students and creating safe spaces in schools. That is to say, separate them from their parents and people who might step in and try to protect their children. Representation in media, producing children's books, TV shows, and movies that feature diverse characters with various gender identities and sexual orientations, offering more inclusive and relatable content for all children. This is why they are making everyone gay and lame. That's why they're doing it. They're trying to normalize it so they can do it to children. Parental and societal support, encouraging parents and communities to support children in exploring and expressing their identities without imposing strict gender norms or expectations of heterosexuality. Heterosexuality is normal. It's normal. It's how we are here. Like, you should go to your parents and thank them for not being gay or getting trans, because you wouldn't exist. So, why did I bring this up? Well, let's go to this story. So you guys probably know that the Acolyte, which is the latest Disney Star Wars prod, is out, or at least the first couple of episodes. Here we have, I mean, I've heard it was awful, but it's going to get a lot worse. But I think that the quality of the show is irrelevant because, and these people know it. They don't care that whether or not this is going to be good or people are going to like it. They care about what social impact it has. They don't care about the actual story being good. This is why, like, when you get into, like, I see people that are on our side that are having discussions and they're getting into, you know, weird arguments like, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. The plot says XYZ, the canon is this. None of that stuff matters. This is about propagandizing and sexualizing children. This is about using media to get at your kids and make them think they're gay, or just destroy everything. The whole woke cult, and it is a cult, it is intended to destroy our culture, our media, our relationships with each other, everything. Because they know that in a productive, happy, and safe first world, they can't implement their commie shit. So they have to turn it into the third world. They have to destroy it. They import the third world through the border. And then when everything is significantly awful, then they say, well, you need the government to save you. And that's where they step in. Anyway, film threat publisher Chris Gore warns that Star Wars The Acolyte will completely lose everyone at episode 3, which features lesbians birthing twins. So they're going all in. This reminds me, by the way, of a Marvel character named America Sanchez, I believe her name. I hate that character. It might not even be Sanchez. I know it's America something, right? Doesn't matter. And she came from like a parallel universe that was like a utopia where it was only lesbians, and somehow she had 2 mothers and there was no explanation as to where she came from. This is literally the same plot, okay? Chris Gore, the publisher of Film Threat, warns that Lucasfilm and Leslie Headland's upcoming Star Wars The Acolyte series, which is actually out right now on Disney Plus, will lose everyone at episode 3. During an appearance on a Geeks and Gamers live stream, Gore warned, I'll just say this, the first 2 episodes are pretty basic. They will get you into the story and the world. Episode 3, I'm warning you now, is going to completely lose everyone. He said in the thread that he posted on Twitter, they completely redefine what the Force is. You're going to see 2 mothers conceive twins, a bunch of witches that are basically the Jedi. The Jedi turn into cops and Child Protective Services. It's like the CPS of the galaxy. He says episodes 1 and 2, whatever, it's fine. Episodes 3 and 4, get ready for pronouns in Star Wars. It's happening. But episode 3, I'm literally considering having a funeral for Star Wars, literally get everyone to dress up, wear dark glasses, give eulogies, play organ church music in the background, because after episode 3 of The Acolyte, it will cause a lot of discussion, aside from the fact that the show is cheap looking. For all the money they spent, it looks cheap. The exterior scenes in Forest look shot on a soundstage. It looks very, very obvious. Then he stated, it still lacks male energy. It lacks male energy. Well, of course it does. It was never supposed to be Star Wars. This is what I've been trying to tell people for basically since The Force Awakens came out. I didn't know that Disney was going to do this. So this kind, I mean, like when they initially bought the property, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't really have strong feelings toward it, you know, one way or the other. But it looks like, for sure, they're just using it as a vehicle to push their propaganda. And this is not surprising. This is what I'm talking about. Like, see, Chris Gore is still shocked at this. I don't understand. Like, why haven't people done the work? Why haven't you figured out that this is not about creating Star Wars products? This isn't even about creating content that's entertaining. This is about normalizing extremely twisted, insane, and degenerate behavior in children. It's about sexualizing and queering your kids. If they put it in enough media, it will normalize it. So what do? You have to tell the truth about this stuff. This is not about being gay. This is not about someone who has, like, you know, a natural born inclination towards something. Queerness is different. Queerness is not homosexuality. This is about normalizing weird shit by weird people and has nothing to do with Star Wars. That's why they don't care what they're doing with it. I would say rest in peace Star Wars, but for me, it's been dead for a really long time, like many, many years. So I don't know why people are still holding out hope. I don't know why people are still like looking at this stuff. You just got to let it go. But more importantly, you have to warn other people that they are doing this not to entertain. They're doing this condition. All right. Well, anyway, that's enough for me right now. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Please give this a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And please leave me a comment because I want to know what you think about this. I will include a link to this in the description, as well as a link to my new Discord server. Long live Vivian.